What's going on, guys? Riley here. Today we're gonna have a little talk. We're gonna have a little talk about something that I seem to get messages about all the time. And that is when people message me and they say, hey Riley, I'm in the market for a new car. Should I get car A or should I get car B? Or whenever you are in your favorite automotive Facebook group and you say, hi guys, I'm going to sell my whatever car and replace it with whatever car, and everybody loses their minds because they're like, no, you should not get that car, you should get whatever car they think is better. Now, ultimately, when it comes down to it, pretty much every car nowadays coming out in 2018 is a good car. There's not a car that's gonna come out and have just tons of problems, because if that was the case, it would not last long at all. Now, in order to give you guys a good example of what exactly I mean when people are like, hey, what car should I get? Let's give you a little scenario. So we have Billy that lives in Alaska, and we'll have John that lives in Texas. We'll start with John. So John lives in Texas, doesn't have harsh winters. He's looking for a car that he can daily drive. He's looking for a car that goes fast, looking for something modern, buying a new car. So to John, I would suggest, hey John, I think you should probably go with a Hellcat or a Scat Pack or something of those sorts, something that's fast in a straight line. Texas really doesn't care too much about cornering abilities because there's just not many places here where you can really test that out. Also, we don't have to prepare for harsh winters, so we don't need a winter vehicle necessarily. So John's pretty much able to pick any car he wants, pretty safe any way you go. Now let's go to Billy. Billy wants a daily drivable car. He wants something fast, fast in a straight line, we'll say. Once again, wants something modern. However, he lives in Alaska. It's cold in Alaska. And I don't know about you guys, but I would not want to drive a rear-wheel drive 700 horsepower car in that. So I would say, Billy, do not buy a Hellcat. You will not enjoy that in Alaska. Wow. Instead, I might suggest, hey, Billy, I see you want something that's, daily drivable in Alaska. Something that's relatively quick. Have you looked at maybe a WRX or an STI? Something that's, I don't know, all-wheel drive. And something that can prepare, or not prepare, but something that you can use in the winter time. I know it seems like common sense, but you'd be surprised how many people message me and they say, should I get car A or B? And A and B are total polar opposites. For example, we'll say a Hellcat and a Grand Sport Corvette. Totally different cars. Hellcat fast in a straight line. Grand Sport Corvette, very fast around corners, still fast in a straight line, but they're totally different cars. So ultimately, when you're going to buy a new car, pick whichever one is going to be the most ideal to live with on a daily basis for what you're going to use this car for. This is something I really figured out when I bought the 1LE. I realized that I bought a car that is just an absolute track monster. That car it will set lap times faster than just about anything for the price. That car is fantastic on a track. However, it's kind of overkill for a daily driver. Yes, that car is still very fast in a straight line, but you can find some other stuff that would be faster for the same amount of money. Like I said, can't find anything faster around a track for the same amount of money. So when I sit back and look at it and what I'm going to be using my vehicle for, I need something that I can, daily drive, that's comfortable, blah, blah, blah. That car all of a sudden slowly becomes less and less appealing, I guess, in a way, even though, don't get me wrong, the car is fantastic and I love driving it. It's one of the most fun cars I've ever driven, but not necessarily on a daily basis and not necessarily as like just a general daily driver. And that kind of brings up part 2 of this video, which is going to be find the car that you enjoy the most, since you're going to be driving it pretty much every day. The best thing to do in order to find out which car you like best, if you're comparing car A and B, go check both of them out in person at a dealership. Sit in both of them, drive both of them if you can, but just check them out in person. And when you walk away from that dealership, after seeing both cars, think back on that day. Say, hey, which one do I have the gut feeling about? Which one do I, deep down inside like more? And if your mind is kind of swaying you one way, there you go. That's your new car. Now, I've been running into this a lot recently, especially when I said, hey guys, I'm going to be selling my Camaro. People are suggesting, well, why don't you get the Camaro ZL1 instead of the Hellcat? It's just as fast and it can corner a lot better. Yes, but the trade-off is it's much smaller. It's not necessarily as good of a daily driver because of it is a little bit smaller. It's a little bit more track focused. For me, I think I'd rather have the Hellcat, which is a little bit bigger car, more comfortable, more roomy, and that's just kind of what fits my needs most for this current time in my life. Perhaps if I was a little bit older and I was just wanting a car to just have as my fun car, sure, Camaro ZL1 would sound great. But as an overall daily driver, kind of look at, you know, the big picture of things and like, well, this is a really fast car. It's really big, it's comfortable, you can fit stuff in it, like, it's a good daily driver. But a lot of times you'd be surprised, it's when people are comparing cars, they're not necessarily comparing, like, I'm trying to think of like two really similar cars. Hey, there's a white Hellcat. Let's say, for example, a Chevy SS sedan and a Scat Pack. They're kind of like very similar. No, people don't compare similar cars. That's one thing I have learned. People would be comparing, let's say, a Scat Pack and, I don't know. Well, I guess since it's relevant, a Camaro SS 1LE. Polar opposite cars, and I knew that going into buying the Camaro, which is why I wanted to buy the Camaro. I wanted something polar opposite so I could kind of give it a try and just, you know, enjoy that aspect of a car. Before purchasing the Camaro, I knew it was going to be a worse daily driver, but I also knew it was going to be much more fun on just kind of like back roads or just out driving around, messing around with friends. I knew it would be just a more enjoyable driving experience, which is why I wanted it. So for those of you in the market for a new car, hopefully this video kind of helps you out on your deciding process. You know, look at the big picture sort of thing. I really am a guy that likes a lot of cars, and I can see why people own different cars for their different needs. And I think a lot of people just kind of look at, well, what's the horsepower of this car? How fast can it do a quarter-mile time? How fast is 0 to 60 time? Oh, well, if this one's faster, that's the better car. Not necessarily. Just kind of depends what you need. Hi.
Hi, may I have a name, please?
Riley?
How can I serve you, sir?
I will do the 12-count nugget meal, value sized with a Dr. Pepper, and
sorry, go ahead.
Chocolate chip cookie also.
Dipping sauces or condiments?
No, thank you. What? I got hungry. So yeah, I'm gonna go enjoy some Chick-fil-A, do a little bit of grocery shopping, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy.